Hi, really quickly, I want to talk about the brain, shape, and sort of the main portions of it. So if we've got this brain here, you have to bear with me a little bit on its appearance. So I've got these main parts here. We're just going to go over what you can look at and see without too much detail in here. And then we'll dive into some closer up views of the brain, basically. So really quickly, some parts you might notice are right here. This is called the cerebellum, and it's actually Latin for small brain, so it's a little brain. And then the big portion, right, let's use blue, right here, that's the cerebrum. The cerebellum is mostly responsible for coordinating motion, and the cerebrum is responsible for probably more advanced processing, you can think about it. So cognitive stuff as well as sensory issues. We've also got over here the brainstem. There are some more, I guess we could say, there's some more divisions we can talk about with that, but we'll go over sort of the broader stuff first. So the brainstem, and that houses a lot of the basic life processes, so like breathing, things like that. And then we've got these lobes. So on the brain, you've got this frontal part called the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is what we often associate with having sort of an influence on personality, decision-making, and planning. It's really big in humans compared to the rest of our brain, and that compared to other animals. So ours is a larger percentage of our brain than, say, a rat's. It's divided between the division between the frontal lobe and the next one, called the parietal lobe, is this sulcus called the central sulcus, and I'll talk about that probably in a different video. But what you need to remember is behind it, we've got this parietal lobe that has to do a lot with processing. Behind that, in the very back of our brain, we've got the occipital lobe, and this has to do with what we see, essentially, processing vision. And then over here, sort of nestled among them all, we've got this temporal lobe. And this has to do with several things, but one of the important ones that you should know about is hearing. So we've got these sort of broad divisions of the brain. And then really quickly, in the next video, we're probably going to go into more detail into this sort of area, and also what happens when you cut the brain in half, what you'll sort of see. So, but these are the broad areas you'll need to understand sort of the anatomy of the brain.